when we accept, I'm not gonna say just I, because I know my other brother, but this always he charge for that vibe, wow. You know, so just as usual, I'm always a spokesperson. You guys saw it there. I'm a spokesperson when it comes to press. Aside that, he can actually speak for himself. I sometimes have to call him to help me speak on my behalf. So some of the videos you see, I inspired the video somehow because he knows he's kicking it for all of us as bridging. As for the Vgma, when the ban is lifted, I think that both teams, mine and his, would want to have they say caucus meeting. Yes, we'll caucus it before we see. Oh, Mr. George, sorry. You know, because I respect that. You know, I respect that Vgma as a prestigious award doesn't take decisions, you know, by a person. Although it has a CEO and whatever, anything the CEO says is actually a combination of all the things that she had to minus, sleep over, and accept to face to come and say. So when the ban is lifted, we'll all both treat each other nicely and sit behind doors and see the way forward and how it's going to affect the Ghanaian masses and the music industry better. Not how it's going to affect Vgma better, financially, whatever, and neither us, but for everybody, because their interests are at stake. So there have to be a consensus at certain levels for if the ban is lifted or not. But I think 2-3 more years is okay for the punishment for the in future of the mess up of the up and coming ones. Yes. And the next question, sorry, I was going straight to the Livingston Foundations to continue to help to do this 1 or 2 things that we do to help people. You feel me?
You know, since you elevated, quote unquote, Black Cedi from the status of a manager to an agent, what work has he done as an agent for Stonebwoy?
Thank you very much. I respect the question a lot. You know, I respect the question a lot. First of all, I take it from the manager bit, is it? And as at now, I think I haven't announced any manager yet. And I believe that Ghanaians are used to the word manager. And therefore, you know, it goes that way. Most people get very familiar with our managers even than ourselves, and 1,001 businesses do go past us and we don't even know. So it gets to a point where, like in Ghana, as far as I'm concerned, the manager, that person as a manager tends to have like a very huge responsibility and whatever. When there's success, it goes straight to manager. When there's failure, you know, it goes straight to artist in the face. It's just like, you know, that vibe. But no success has much been accorded to artists, but to teams and manager and all of that. So I respect the role of manager. You see what I'm saying? But Black Cedi is no more, aka Cedi Mohammed, is no more my manager. As we duly said, due to structural, you know, fixations in my camp, you know. I know a lot of people have said so many things that they've heard and some haven't heard, some moving with speculation, some moving with what they want to move with. It's all good, it's life, trust me honestly. Trust me honestly, life goes on and that's how life goes, you know. We need to get some shocks to be able to change them. We need to get some shocks to be able to move and put things right. And has he done any work as an agent? No, he hasn't. And the reality is that there were understandings or conversations prior to my announcement, you know, and that was verbally agreed upon until it wasn't formally signed. So Black Cedi Mohammed hasn't done any work agent-wise and is definitely not in any capacity, you know, obliged to. Whereas I have to state clear that we don't have any work ties together anymore, like work ties, whether via booking, whether by agency, whatever. There's no work tie between my good brother and I.
To unite musically, and you think it was necessary? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'll start it from where you ended. So I understand these issues. I'm here with the people. I'm active on social media. I read the news. I know what's going on here. he's not telling one lie. Everything he's saying is not, he's not actually, he might be representing himself, but he's not actually talking just for himself, he's talking for other people. I got that yesterday from somewhere, like, yo, ever since you guys, the heat, you know they come again. I enjoy the heat sometimes anyway, you know. So it actually has been, there was no force, I think there was no force to start with, under which we had to succumb to unite, you know, or to show unity, you know what I mean. Shatta and I we have history, for real, from time. I think one that only close people who are privileged get to know about. But in the media light, over a number of years, our feud is real. I think people sometimes say, "Oh, but what should I know?" And I'm like, "It to me, should I say, baby, pizza is real. Who knows? People know the extent to which it went." And I think that what happened at the Vgma is to climax the heights of it. Actually, took us to the world. It sent us all across. We even got featured in Arabic news writings, in Russian, in TMZs. And I immediately my picture was used for scary movie titles with gun things are going, you know. I think we came out to do the right thing. The right thing most often doesn't make people happy, you know. And I tell you sometimes both of us are even sad that we did that. Because sometimes there are some things he can come and say at me that he wouldn't say now, and even me, some things I can come and say at him I wouldn't say now. But we are two different people still, and I think that Ghana now has gotten to a level where we have, by at least even the last beat that happened, gotten a name to certain levels. Now, what are we going to do now that we have the attention? What are we going to continue to do now? Are we going to sell Ghana the right way, capitalize on the attention drawn now to move 100 steps ahead into that time, and also equal our rivals or equal people who have long gone past us? Because the beef was actually beneficiary to some people, but ultimately it wasn't any good look for us. It wasn't bringing anything to the ultimately, like, overall. In the end, we would still lose. So we would rather probably lose certain things now and still move forward. The biggest beef, dancehall beef, once upon a time, is the Bounty Killer and Binyua, you know. And today, you and I know the levels at which they are. They vibe, but it will never be as if they were best friends. You see what I mean? So me and Shatta, as much as you guys see it, we're honestly speaking, we're good bridging now, but we're not best friends. You know, we can't just get up and assume that we've been super cool over. And men are very real when it comes to these things. But him and I will pick a conversation once, mostly pertaining to the industry and what we're supposed to do together in our differences, because this is the time for us to make some difference. You know, you guys are used to the beef, get used to the chicken, and we'll, you know, small time, you know, you guys know how to incite us. Just touch the right buttons.
Out of the blue, it came out that Stonebwoy and the manager, Black Cedi, were no more, and Stonebwoy had been elevated when it was written as an agent. So with the post of an agent, we didn't see him doing much. No one came to, you highlighted what he was going to do, but we didn't see him doing much. And now he's no longer with the team. An artist has a right to reshuffle his management team if he believes he's not growing, or if he believes that the manager doesn't serve the purpose while he's been hired. However, fans of Yamathan, so am I a media personality, we would like to know the exact reason why Black Cedi was moved to be an agent, and now, hearing from now, he is no longer part of the team. I remember I saw him at Ashaman to the World. He came with a few people on a moped. He was quite emotional. I didn't know why he was emotional, but he kept on chanting, like, this is me, this is me. And you could tell he was hurting. And I don't know why he's hurting, because he's never come out to tell me why he's hurting. But, sorry? Yeah, so we never come out to say why he's hurting. Because you guys were so great, even the Vgmas, how he stood up for you, even how you treated him.
Person is great, but it moved more into being a personal one, you know, like everybody caught the clue. I know you're a huge friend of all of us, you know what I mean? And I think that you said something, I've never disrespected him and I've treated him nicely. So I think that, which is key that I'll point on upon. I'm a people's person. Every single person around my team, yeah, knows me. I'll choose myself last over all of them when I have to. When I have to play defense for these people, I play it to the core. You know, I'm their commander, get me? As young and little as I am, you know, I'm the governor, you know? Being government here. See? I think, and you said I've never disrespected him, so I'll never disrespect him also. If you know, that's why some of the things don't have to be said. Exactly. That's why I managed to, as a CEO, as a thinking person, and somebody who will never disrespect him, will continue to keep it that way, even if it sounds confusing till the end. You know, because not all that glitters is gold. I'm answering from a brotherly point of view, which is a general thing that we all have to know, not from a corporate or work-based point of view. The most relationships that break, that hurts people, are the ones that felt and looked the greatest. But you should know that not all that glitters is gold, and there are so many things that have to go on behind the scenes to maintain such relationships. You know, meanwhile, most often it's supposed to be two-sided. And when it becomes one-sided, it can only last but for a while. You know what I mean? You're a personal person to me, and I'll answer you from a personal point again. Should I go about spilling things? I think that wouldn't be a solution to the problem. We have sat as people, as mature persons, and have arrived at solutions a number of times. This is somebody, a brother that he is to me, like you know, like a Sarkodie would be to Angel. We are the squad that came up introducing our friends as our managers and teaching them on the job whilst we did the hustle. Ask Sarkodie, ask Shatawale, ask Stonebwoy. This is real. I'm dealing with you on a personal person. I'm sorry, but I have to. We introduce our friends as that, and I've had to do a lot of work that is unseen, and I have to shift the credits to the right place that it belongs to make us look professional, and on and on and on and on. So Black Cedi might not be working with me, but I'm sure he's super happy as an owner and CEO of Blackham Entertainment, which produces Kelvin Boy. Thank you. Accomplished. When Bonte and Beanie Man literally came together after years, they managed to drop some songs that, you know, fed the crave of the fans and the masses, and it was a huge one. Shatta and I definitely must, else I do not think that our mission would have been accomplished, you know. But most often wishes are not horses, and you cannot always get what you want at the time that you want them, because these are two individual teams. We are not a group working together. We are individuals though, so timings have to come to play. Especially, let's not make this sound like it's not business, you know. Business background, so many things have to go on to make sure that whatever we're doing, we can drive for a longer period. Why I would even involve the business part is not because anybody says business means that all they're about is the money. No. What do? We're musicians, commercial musicians. We don't sing for free. Sometimes we might give you a line or two for free, but we have to consider all aspects, you know, to be able to take certain decisions when it comes to recording musical material together, because that then goes on to the royalties and the other things and interest protections and all of that. So it's my wish that all these things will come to book nicely done, and we'll be able to give Ghanaians and the world a beautiful piece of track, an album, a video, however they want it. Style, baby. keep moving, and I know that big things are going to be happening. I have plans for this year. I do not think that what I want to achieve in 2020 I have already done yet, you know. But I have quite some plans that I pray to God to help for me to achieve, to make it remarkable. So I think we can take time, not jump the gun. Maybe when December 2020 hits, I can be able to stand proud and be bold and say this was, you know, something that I had planned that I was able to do. That's the most. Meanwhile, on the signing part, it's a beautiful thing to, you know, actually help people, because it's a popular saying that, you know, you rise by helping others. You know what I mean? And most often, if you do not care wise how you know, like most often that doesn't play in every situation, you know. But it's good to always continue to lend help, you know, to people. But coming to signing artists in Ghana, like you said, it always turns out to be something else. You know, I think there's that because there are so many things we do not check, and so many things we do not understand before even jumping into. You know, and there's so many things we do not consider either, because all we just want to do is that once upon a time we helped somebody and it feels good if you're somebody that loves to help. But I think it's not what a number of us have tried, and I see failed, you know, because of so many reasons and more. Now it's time that we have to not rush, and this would be an advice to anybody who seeks to do, who feels that they are on top of the ladder and might want to help somebody or grow somebody or sign another artist. I think that is best we take time to even fix things, you know, in our teams, and fix structures that would help that to work. And I would say that I admire, you know, I admire Links Entertainment to an extent, because they seem to always have, you know, that record of working with artists and, you know, and doing it right to an extent. But may I chip this in, even them don't have it easy, and there's always an issue about exit and the rest, you know what I mean? So I would blame it on Ghanaians not actually understanding, Ghanaian artists like myself not actually fixing things before, you know, they bring people on musically. But personally, there's always attitudes, and I think people feel different ways and all. But the happiness it brings to me is that in Ghana, one thing we do is we observe everything, we know everything, but we keep quiet and stare like we do not, you know. Pertaining to the issues surrounding mine, I do not want to go too far and be too diplomatic about it, but we are all seeing, we all see clear, we are all seeing things. You know, I get tweets that tend to ridicule me and insult me. I get, you know, I've gotten messages that I haven't even displayed or shown to nobody, and by the time you check the thing, it's like, if I give that attention now, I'm just going to drop down to a certain level where I think Ghanaians will not be happy about, you know, just because, you know, you have to somewhat want to say, oh no, we are bigger than a lot of things and we have to see ourselves very big and move on. But let us not also stay blind to the clear picture, you know, and do the needful. Yeah, you know what I mean? You know, and then it's throwing shades and all. I mean, I am the captain of one of the biggest beefs in this country, so these ones are not close.
So your record label as an artist, and if not, what has happened to her?
Thank you very much. On the situation with Ovi, it was also absolutely one of the efforts to help. You know, if you're around me, you're close to me, you know my intent and my heart too. But unfortunately, I'm not the same one that oversaw, you know, things until my attention was properly drawn to. And that is the reason why I have to lay off and restructure ultimately and put things apart. So guess what? Well, I think when I did the first interview and made mention of it, I said when we fix things internally, we would come out to speak about that as well. But I thought at that point it was not really necessary, and so now that I have the opportunity and you guys are here, I think I'll drop it down in the interest of it's in the best interest, you know, that the company actually titled her and released her literally. So she's long been released and is on her own and stuff, and still gets the support from the team and myself anytime, any day, just like it was from the beginning. The way I met Ovi sent me a tweet a long time ago, like one of the ways I do. Saw the tweet and I retweeted it, and on it went. Big ups to the fan base, BIM Nation, BIM government. You guys are super amazing. Anything I touch, they endorse. So within a twinkle of an eye, Ovi was, you know, already getting the support of, she's not the first person that would get that opportunity, and she wouldn't be the last either, you know, thanks to the BIM Nation fan base. So she got into the MTN project fame, MTN whatever, and you guys saw how well she did by literally getting the support of my fan base and performing some of my songs. And I had my support behind her, so luckily enough she emerged the winner. And I have a very, very good friend, businesswoman of a friend of mine who's a woman, who actually brought her to my house and said, look, you're forcefully going to do this if you like it or not. Right in front of the girl when I haven't met her in person, I'm like, listen, there's Wahala. But, you know what I mean? Because from all that time, the levels that it has brought these kids, you know, is well enough for them to stand upon, because many people just run off, they take off by a tweet, by an opportunity. So how much more taking you along with us, opening doors that some people on their own haven't even opened yet. You know, the least you can do is not to try to fight this, because that's how you lose it all. So you just have to maintain upon the little help that you got and keep running. So Ovi is no more with us, is not with us, you know, work-wise, but she's okay, she's good. She came to my house the last time, we had a nice chat. Like, it's all positive from my end, super positive. And sometimes I think that the media can get a lot more when some other people do the answering. So I beg that you put them on the line as well, so you can compare the facts and ask some more questions.